Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commanders, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do that unless we're playing those three magnificent letters, EDH. What does that stand for today?
This is going to break away from everything we told you so far in this series, but we're going to be embodying decency and honor today.
You sure?
I think so. For now.
You sure we're doing it right?
just for today. Not going to last very
You know
long.
this is the 48 laws of magic power, right?
We just went off to the side for a little bit. We're taking a detour for a little while with today's episode.
If you say so. All right, sure. All right, so embodying decency and honor. So we're doing that today because we're talking about Law 5, reputation. So much depends on it. So I think you really want to have a good reputation when you're playing Magic. I would hope so. Do you?
Your reputation can affect how much fun you have playing Magic, especially within your play group more than anything else. Period. Because if you have the reputation as either too spiky of a player or too just mean of a player, you're either not going to have a play group or you're not going to have a good time with it.
I guess you like playing by yourself. All right, so before we go any further, let's talk about some sweet flavor text that really embodies what we're talking about today. And one that we found was from Capuchin Knight. Your favorite card, my favorite card.
It's a staple in every format ever. If you don't know this card, what are you doing?
Yeah. I hope what's wrong with you. All right, the flavor text on Capuchin Knight, even though I'm pretty sure you know it because you play it all the time. He protects Benalia as much with his reputation as with his force of arms. So a pretty valiant, pretty noble guy, and his reputation precedes him apparently. Mm-hmm. So that's how you want to be with your reputation as a Magic player. You do not want to have a bad reputation. And we're going to talk today about how to make sure that you maintain a good reputation. Positively, maybe.
Hopefully positively. There's various aspects of it, but overall you want it to be a positive reputation.
Yeah. So first thing we want to say is, first tip is to, maybe this is leaning towards the I won't say negative, but the sociopathic side, but I mean just have a larger than life reputation. I'll just put it out there. Have a reputation that when people say your name or they invoke your name, people are like, oh man, that is an awesome player. I love playing with that person. They play awesome decks. They do sweet combos that are not overbearing, or maybe you have a competitive group. They just always do the fastest and best combos. Have a reputation that, that's pretty much larger than life.
And the best way to do this really is to have fun when you play. And it sounds super simple, but you can get a much better reputation. You can play super strong decks. You can play super weak decks. You can play gimmicky decks. But if you're at the table and you're just bringing fun and you're bringing this positive persona to the game, that reputation is going to come. Now, obviously, there are limits. If you're comboing turn 2 and killing everyone every game, you can be the most positive human ever. You could just be Barney. Barney's a positive. He's not a person. He's a dinosaur. But he's positive. And that's not going to matter because everyone's just going to be like, we're sick of your whole get-up. Just go. But within those limits, being positive can completely shape your reputation.
Yeah, and speaking from personal experience, the first LGS, well, not the first, but one of the first LGSs I played at, apparently there was this legendary dude that everyone spoke very highly of that, oh man, is such and such coming today? Is he going to be? I hope he's coming. I hope he's bringing such and such deck. It took me forever to meet this guy, but I was so excited to play with him that when I beat him that first game, I was like, you're cool, but I beat you.
You might make yourself a target. I guess if you get too much of a reputation. People start hearing your name too much.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, people were scared and excited to play with him all in the same. But I think that was pretty cool, though. I want to get on that level one day. Next thing, let's talk about how to kind of another way of building your reputation. So if people say things about you, they could be in a joking or in a non-harmful or maybe sometimes even maybe a malicious way when it comes to your play style or in your play group. Don't appear too desperate to defend yourself, because the more desperate you are, the more people think that you actually are, deceitful or hiding something, or just let your actions speak for themselves.
Especially in the context of a Commander game, so much of Commander, and again, we're not trying to alienate the CEDH players and the competitive players, but the way we play is more of a casual game.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in that situation where someone's joking with you and you get so serious to defend yourself that all of a sudden people might not have been looking at you and they're going to be looking at you in all types of crazy ways. You don't want your reputation to be the one of, oh, someone does something to you and you just get angry and shut down. Like, that's not a great reputation to have.
Yeah, it's not a good experience if you are, if you're kind of bringing the playgroup down by defending yourself too much, or you feel like people are really malicious to you. There may be times to actually kind of stop and have an actual real conversation.
Yeah,
maybe something else going on.
There might be more to magic to that whole situation.
But yeah, that's the kind of time to kind of stop and have that conversation. Like, yeah, maybe you just want to let people know that you have a limit when it comes to certain jokes or malicious things coming your way. So. Magic, there's real life and then there's magic. So sometimes they blend. They blend. All right. So the next tip we have for you for making sure that you're building up your reputation. Don't be too excessive when it comes to making fun of, attacking, or poking fun at your other opponents, because it may just kind of highlight some of the things that you've done in the past. Like, man, don't trust that person. They say they're going to tutor for this and do that, and they're like, yeah, but I remember last time that you said that, and blah, blah. You don't go too far. It's going to come off as petty. That's what it's going to do. So we want to make sure that we're keeping a fun, casual environment.
Yeah, you don't want trying to put down other people's reputations to become your own reputation.
Yeah.
Kind of, again, you want to give back to that positivity. You want to be the person who has the reputation that people love to be around and love to play with. And putting people down, even if it's in a joking manner, if you do it too much, that will kind of follow you.
Yeah, and people won't want to play with you because, like, man, I feel sad every time I sit down. Every time I sit down with this person, they're always calling me out for something that I do or have done. Like, yeah, just cool it with it. Don't be too excessive.
Don't get personal with it. I think it kind of goes without saying. It's kind of the same thing, that trying to put other people's reputations down. Even within Magic, it can get excessive, but you don't need to start commenting. Don't talk about their hairstyles. Don't talk about the clothes they wear. Don't talk about, I don't know, what type of shoes they bought this week.
What are those?
Yeah, exactly. Don't pull that out during a Magic game. Just wait until afterwards, then no, I'm kidding. Don't be mean in general, but especially during the game, you don't want to be the reputation of somewhere. You're not even looking at your cards. You're just looking at stuff to pick on for people. That's not right.
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about how to break other people down. let's poke holes in their reputation, because
I thought we just said not to do that.
This wouldn't be a law of power if we didn't do that. It's not about always maintaining the power and everything. It's also about making sure other people don't have the power as well.
In moderation.
So how can we poke holes in others' reputation? First thing is to sow doubt in their reputation. So how can we say this in a nice way?
I think the best way to do this, and in the nicest way possible, is when people start trying to make deals that don't include you, try to go dig as deep as you can to find that one time that person broke a deal and make sure everyone knows about it. This does a great job of, one, ruining their reputation, and two, keeping it completely within the scope of Magic.
Yeah.
And I found that this is the best way to get yourself at a great seat at the table when you point out the other people who have completely broken promises and, not done what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, we're not talking about lying on people straight up.
No.
Like, it's an actual factual thing that they can remember, and we can bring it up.
Just remember. You just gotta have a good memory. I'm sure everybody remembers the personal time when you did something for somebody, you destroyed that propaganda that was on the battlefield, and somebody with a token deck, and you did a favor for them, and they turn and attack you with all the tokens next turn. Never forget, because the next time someone tries to make a deal, just have that in your back pocket and just throw it out there. Be like, actually, let them know what might happen if they make a deal with that player.
Yeah. Next little thing we have is use humor to kind of poke holes in their reputation as well. So we kind of talked about this already as far as about not being too excessive with it, but in moderation, like jokingly let people know, like, I don't know, that guy, he holds things in his hand that can mess us up, that can ruin our day. Like, don't trust that guy. Like, just this is very situational, and it also depends on your play group. So all of these tips won't really maybe apply to you, depending on how you use them. But we just let you know that they exist. And this is a way to make sure that if there's a player you see dominating, let people know in a joking manner. Remember, we're trying to keep it casual and fun. That, hey, I don't know. That guy plays janky cards that sometimes do some things. We need to keep an eye on that guy.
And this can feed into the whole kind of point of this whole law of keeping a positive attitude because, like I said, don't make this personal. If you go ahead and make fun of and joke around about people's, like the cards or something that they've done within the game before, the best way to say it is like, oh, you might joke around about how broken and how mean a card they're playing is, but you don't call that person mean or anything like that. Yeah. And then doing it like this is a way to keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, mess around. If that one player at the table is playing Static Orb, you gotta go in, you gotta roast them for playing that card because that is you're just trying to ruin people's fun.
What are you doing?
You don't want anybody to smile. You're like the Monsters and Monsters Inc. where they got like power off of people being miserable, however that worked with the screams. Yeah, you're a misery powered person because you just don't want anybody to smile. In case you can't tell, I don't like Static Orb. But enough with that. But yeah, focus on the cards. You're not going to say that person's a mean person. You're like, that is a mean card, and go in on the card. And that could keep a joking, lighthearted atmosphere without making anything personal and without ruining your own reputation in the process.
Case in point, friend of the show in our play group, Nate.
Yes.
Nate plays some very, we won't say broken, he plays some powerful cards. And he has no qualms about it. He lets us know straight up, this is a powerful deck. I have some powerful mechanics and combos in here. If you can dismantle them, go for it. If not, I'm probably going to win. So every time he breaks these things out, we take a breath. We're like, uh-oh. Nate's pulling out the Sisei, Captain Sisei. Uh-oh. Watch out for Paradox Engine.
I was going to say R.I.P. Paradox Engine.
But back when Paradox Engine was before it was a thing. But yeah, every time, but we didn't kick Nate out of the play group. We didn't don't play that deck. Every time he plays it, we're like, all right, wait for the Paradox Engine. Maybe we'll deal with it. Maybe we won't. We're acknowledging the powerfulness he has, but at the same time, we're doing it in a joking manner and not exiling him from the group.
Exactly. In my personal opinion, it's the best way to handle cards that are seen as mean, whether it's mass land destruction, Blood Moon, Back to Basics, Winter Orb, Static Orb, all those type of effects that can be miserable. Especially because half the time with those cards you're not playing Magic anyway. You got to find a way to entertain yourself. So you might as well start making jokes about the card because you're not going to be playing any cards. So yeah, but I'm not bitter. I promise. It is the type of thing where it can keep a fun atmosphere in addition to what's being played on the table.
All right, so let's talk about a couple commanders that we feel like kind of bring a reputation in our experience to the table, and people feel like, you know what, I think I'll play that guy or play that deck again. For me personally, I will say is Niv Mizzet Reborn. That deck has been a joy to play. It's been a joy to play against other people's Niv Mizzets. I hear it's been a joy to play against my Niv Mizzet because you never know what you're gonna get. That's basically the best way to say it.
I can vouch for that. I love playing against that deck because when you start flipping stuff over, I don't know what's in the deck. Half of them are just random, just guild cards that are kind of janky but kind of good, and just seeing everything flip over and seeing what's going to happen, I think it's a lot of fun.
And Niv Mizzet himself is not a very powerful card per se. It's doing some things when it hits the battlefield, but it's doing something where it feels like everyone is in on the fun almost.
Now, I know there's like a CEDH version of Niv Mizzet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about just the throwing a bunch of guild stuff, having fun, not the everyone's dead before anything
unless
happens.
your play group gets off on that.
Nothing wrong with it. Not our thing.
All right, you had one as well.
Yeah, so the commander I like to play that I feel like has a pretty good reputation for me is my Sidisi deck. I've done a deck tech on this deck, and it's a token deck that plays with the graveyard that tries to get a lot of spiders and worms and stuff out. And it's a self-mill deck that doesn't run Labman. And to me, it's so much fun because it's just, I'm going to mill myself, I'm going to get a bunch of tokens, and half the time I'm going to kill myself. I'd say probably at least like a third of the time I end up killing myself to self-mill. And it's just so much fun, and it puts this atmosphere at the table that, one, it lets people know, clearly I'm just trying to have a good time because I'm not playing this deck optimally at all. But it's almost like a countdown. Everybody gets in on it. Oh, I just played another Mirror Phantasm. I only got 4 cards left now, and people are getting in on the fun. It's the countdown, or people trying to mill me. They're trying to make me draw cards so I lose. And it really creates a fun atmosphere without having a deck that's useless, but a deck that kind of just gets everybody else into the table in on the fun.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, and every time I feel like he's about to mill me out, he's milling himself. I'm like, man, that was hilarious.
It's
that was hilarious to watch.
It's unexpected.
Yeah. So that's all we have for you today. Keep a good reputation, build a reputation that is one that is of positivity, that people feel like you're comfortable to play around and that you're fun to play around.
There is one thing I do want to add, actually, because we are all talking mostly about positivity, but one thing I do really encourage people to do is make sure that you don't want to be a pushover either. And there's a very fine balance. I would say lean 90% towards just being fun. But you don't want to be the person that, oh, who am I going to attack? Well, he's not going to do anything about it. I'll attack him. Oh, who am I going to, use my River's Rebuke on? You never complain. I'm doing it to you. Make sure when people do stuff to you, retaliate. But you can do it in a fun way. Always keep answers up. And make sure when people do stuff to you, they know something will be happen back to them.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reputation, too. I would say having fun is so much more important. But, again, there's a balance. You don't want to go too far. You want to make sure people know. If they do something to you, there's going to be retribution.
That's true. It's true.
Always.
Always.
Sorry.
He's not salty.
No, never. I will. Okay, last comment, I promise. I literally run River's Rebuke over Cyclonic Rift just because I'm that salty, and I want that one person to know that it is them I wanted to just ruin the game for. Sorry, now I'm done. Okay. I feel better.
You good?
I'm good. I feel good now.
All right. Cool. All right. So you can catch us on future episodes of Command Center, the 48 Laws of Power edition. Upcoming weeks. Be sure to go back and check out some of our previous episodes. Can't believe we're breezing through these. Man, we might actually do this before finish these before the year is out.
It might be. We're like a 12th, just over. We're less than a 12th, or more than a 12th of the way there.
Yeah, I can't do math like that. So go ahead, like and subscribe if you like what we do here. Check out, like I said, some of our previous content, deck techs, other command centers, talking about synergy between commanders and cards. Consider becoming a patron of ours. We have some sweet things to offer to people who become patrons. So be sure to check those out. Link is in the description below. I'm pretty sure this is coming out before we're going, but we will be in Vegas for GP Vegas. So living it up, having fun, playing nothing but Commander, maybe shoot some craps. I don't know. I've never been to Vegas.
I was about to say, I've never been west of Atlanta, as sad as that is. So yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is going to be very exciting. So we hope to meet some new people. If you're planning on coming, let us know so we can be sure to get some games with you while we're in Vegas. But until next time, peace.